It is another edition of the news in Africa and the world. We open today's edition in Mali. Army Colonel Assimi Goïta has introduced himself as Mali's new military strongman a day after a coup that was condemned by the international community but won support from the country's opposition. He is the chairman of the National Committee for the Salvation of the People who led the coup that ousted the president. Colonel Assimi said Mali is in a situation of socio-political tension and there is no room for mistakes. According to his entourage, Goïta had until now headed Mali Special Forces based in the center of the West African country, turned for the last 5 years by jihadist and sectarian violence. The opposition coalition, the M5, in a statement, acknowledged it took note of the commitment the junta has made to open a civilian political transition and will work with it in developing a roadmap for peace. The African Union suspended Mali and joined Europe and the US in demanding the newborn junta to free the 75-year-old president, Prime Minister Boubou Cissé, and other leaders taken captive. In Ivory Coast, demonstrations on public roads have been suspended until September 15. The announcement was made in the Council of Ministers on Wednesday, 2 months before the presidential election. The suspension comes after a week-long protest that turned violent. The decision is also used as a pretext as Alassane Ouattara is due to receive the RHDP investiture on Saturday at the Félix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium in Abidjan, and also because demonstrations planned by opposition women's movement in Cocody. The protest last week witnessed several arrests, among which were Anne-Marie Bonnifong, chairwoman of the Guillaume Soros party, and Pulchérie Ballet, an activist who was still behind bars. Amnesty International on Tuesday called for the release of the detained arrested for expressing their political opinions. At least 45 migrants and refugees have died off the coast of Libya after the engine of vessel they were traveling on exploded, the UN has reported, with 5 children said to be among the deceased. The incident in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Zouara is the deadliest recorded shipwreck of the year so far. The deaths were reported by some 37 survivors, predominantly Senegal, Mali, Chad and Ghana, rescued by local fishermen. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees and the International Organization for Migration have called for thorough search and rescue efforts for migrants to be stepped up. They said that without a dedicated search and rescue operation mechanism, more lives will be lost in the Mediterranean. The Libyan coast is often used as a jumping-off point for entry into Europe through Italy and Malta for refugees and migrants looking to reach the European Union. Both Libya and the European nations have declared their port unsafe due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Moving out of the African continent, Democrats in the United States have officially nominated Joe Biden as their presidential candidate, designing the veteran leader as their challenger to President Donald Trump in the November election. On the convention's second night, under the theme Leadership Matters, all 50 U.S. states and 7 territories announced their tallies endorsing Biden. After Biden formally became a nominee, his wife, Jill Biden, addressed the nation for the first time as the prospective First Lady. In their convention of Democrats featured a handful of Republicans who have crossed party lines to praise Biden. As they gathered virtually, Trump traveled Tuesday to 2 key battleground states, Iowa and Arizona, and sought to carry favor with women voters with a pardon earlier in the day of women's suffrage leader Susan B. Anthony, who protested during the 1870s and was convicted of voting illegally because she was a woman. The convention included presentations by Democrats, including former Presidents Jimmy Carter, 95, and Bill Clinton, 74-year-old, respectively. European Union, in an emergency summit in response to 10 days of protest in Belarus, has said it does not recognize Alexander Lukashenko as Belarus president and vowed to press ahead with sanctions on his regime. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said there is no doubt that there were massive rule violations in the election, adding it was neither free nor fair. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, on her part, said Wednesday that EU funds slated for Belarus will be rerouted to civil society instead of the government. The EU Commission pledged 53 million euros to support the Belarusian people. President Lukashenko, in response to the forthcoming EU measures, has ordered his government to relay the official point of view on the post-election protest to the leaders of France, Germany, Poland, Lithuania, and Ukraine. And Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny is reportedly in a coma after what his spokeswoman called a poisoning. He was rushed in a Serbian hospital this Thursday after drinking a cup of tea. He is on intensive care and on an artificial lung ventilator, his spokeswoman added. Doctors said his health was stable, but also that there was still a threat to his life and they are working to save him. There is a long history of Kremlin foes being poisoned or falling ill after suspected poisonings. The Kremlin has, however, repeatedly denied any involvement in those other incidents. Alexander Litvinenko and Sergei Skripal, calling them anti-Russian provocations. That was it for the news in Africa and the world. Thanks for watching, and until we come your way again, do take care and stay safe.